Hello, everybody, and welcome to another episode of the Cryptic Commander. We are your hosts. I'm John Nose,
I'm MTG Peddler.
I'm Slothy.
and proudly partnered with Magic the Gathering Players Group, Facebook group, Cosmic Gaming Community, and sponsored by NorthValleyGames.com, where you can go to NorthValleyGames.com and enter the promo code TCC2021, save 10% off your whole order, and also their program where they're buying back your singles and give you 10% more cash back.
Now, before we go into card of the week, we kind of glazed over the fact that we have a very special guest this week, Mr. Pawz Brown. Pawz, how's it going today, bud?
Hey, how we doing? Keeping it positive over here, brother. Thanks for inviting me on the show.
Glad to have you, bro. Glad to have you. So this week, card of the week is going to be Blood Moon. So for 2 generic and a red, it is an enchantment at rare. Non-basic lands are mountains. It's a pretty simple card. It does exactly what it says it does. What do you guys think about Blood Moon?
I like this card in Commander and in Modern. It can be absolutely devastating sometimes to your opponents if they're playing, like, I know in a lot of Modern you're going to be having a lot of non-basic lands.
Yeah, I was going to say like the Tron strategy would be absolutely destroyed with this card.
Yeah, exactly.
Yes, they would.
That, like, all the triomes and shock lands, fetch lands that are in that format are just completely shut off.
So I play Modern a lot, right? And I go to the local game store, and I sat down and played against this guy. He put out Blood Moon, and I never heard of it. So I look at it, and I'm like, that shouldn't affect me too much because I'm a mono blue player, you know. And then lo and behold, in my deck, all right, 16 islands and 4 copy of Shelldock Isle. And Shelldock Isle was a non-basic land, right? And why is this card hurting me so bad? You see what I'm saying here? Why is this card hurting me so bad? So just a guy playing with 16 basic lands in his deck out of 20 lands, it affected that bad. So, I mean, it deserves its spot to be card of the week for sure, man. I tell you what, it's one of those ignorant cards that you definitely want it to have on your side of the field when you know it's going to happen, you know?
Well, kind of like what you were saying with 16 of your 20 lands are basic islands. As soon as you turn those other 4 into mountains, that cuts off 20% of your land.
Yeah.
Which can definitely take an effect.
Yeah, it definitely does, especially when you have one of them out. You're like, well, I'll just use it for an other. And it's like, well, I need 3 blue right now. You know?
Yeah.
What's this red going to do to me? What's it doing to me? He's like, well, this is going to hurt you. You know, it's like, yeah, that was a good sideboard card there, bud. Good.
Anything that affects your opponent's ability to play the game is a very strong card.
Absolutely.
Because
I definitely respect Blood. It's definitely a great card.
This is the kind of card that can just absolutely just derail the most strategized deck. You know what I mean? No matter how much thought you put in your deck, you need your non-basics for a lot of decks, and this just shuts them all down. And there's not too much enchantment just removal that's played, right? I mean, my friends who play Modern and Commander would probably know that answer better, right, guys?
In Commander, there's usually, it kind of just depends on the meta, but games that I play usually run pretty heavy on removal, so that card wouldn't be sticking around for too long if the person could afford to cast.
Right, you just enchant it for 1.
Yeah, exactly.
What about in Modern?
Really adds intervention.
Yep.
So in Modern, I don't see it too much, Peddler. I see it in sideboards.
Interesting. There you go. That is our card of the week this week.
Great card.
Moved over to Magic the Gathering Arena updates. And we want to remind everybody, we still got the College Cup Test of Wit Leadership, May 27th to May 31st. Moving over to Movers and Shakers.
So, Movers and Shakers, I do recommend getting a drink and having a seat, because this is going to be a big one this week, guys.
Okay.
So
I'm with you. I'm with you live here. Go ahead.
Well, we're going to start off with some cheap pickups here. So the first one is going to be Grove of the Burn Willows. It's stabilized at about $6. The next one is also pretty stable. It's Panharmonicon. This is the Time Spiral remastered version. It's at $10. And then,
of course, that's one of the ones that's stable. I opened one the other day, and I was like, "Oh, cool, Panorama! It's like a $25 card." I'm like, nope.
Yeah, no. I had the same reaction when I pulled them from my boxes. And the next cheap pickup here is trending downward. It is Muxus Goblin Grandee for $16.75. And then moving on, we've got a whole bunch of extra information relating to Chatterfang, the Squirrel General. And some cards have been kind of fluctuating over that. So we're going to start off with Druid's Call. It is up 90% at $18.96. This is an enchant creature for 1 and a green. It's from Odyssey. Whenever enchanted creature is dealt damage, its controller puts that many 1/1 green squirrel creature tokens into play. And the next one is Deep Forest Hermit. It is up 102% to $4.05. This is a elf druid creature. It's a 1/1 for 3 and 2 green. It's got Vanishing 3. So this creature enters the battlefield with 3 time counters on it. At the beginning of your upkeep, remove a time counter from it. When the last is removed, sacrifice it. And when it enters the battlefield, create 4 1/1 green squirrel creature tokens, and squirrels you control get +1/+1. And the third one is at $49.99, up 109%. It is Nut Collector. And it is a creature druid for 5 and a green. At the beginning of your upkeep, you may put a 1/1 green squirrel creature token into play, and it's got Threshold. So as long as you have 7 or more cards in your graveyard, all squirrels get +2/+2.
Yeah, that new squirrel has really shook up a lot of cards.
Absolutely.
It's exciting.
Especially looking at some of the spoilers from Modern Horizons 2, all the squirrel love. It's kind of nice. I hope to see how it turns out.
Just from the prices alone, you can tell that squirrels is a popular tribe, and people want to play it. You know,
Yeah.
And they just haven't had the support to play it. So now it's like everyone's all excited they can finally play a squirrel deck. It's pretty cool, actually.
Yeah.
Don't you want to play with squirrels?
I love squirrels, except when they're stealing peaches off my tree.
We're going to move on here to number 3. It is Sanity Grinding at $20.50. This is up a whopping 635%.
What? My sanity grinding's going up?
Yep.
I
It's
never
going.
saw it see the day, man. I bought them at $8. You know, I never saw it see the day.
It's going up a lot.
I feel bad for everyone that plays at John's LGS because they're going to have to deal with that fractured sanity deck.
Yeah.
John, you are aware of fractured sanity, right?
Yeah, it's one of the new Modern Horizon 2 cards, right?
Yeah, it's like mill 14 cards.
Yep, mill 14 cards for 3 blue.
You can cycle it.
And they mill 4.
And mill 4, yeah, that's pretty rad. If you like mill, that is a card you're going to want to play, and it plays so well with sanity grinding.
Well, here's the thing. Okay, here's the thing. I think personally, it's going to slow my deck down. And I looked at the card, you know, and throughout the years, man, since I built my deck, not to take any light away from anybody, but I'm just saying that the sanity grinding and the way that it works with the deck, right? It's hard to find a replacement for anything that's in those slots, if it makes sense. So it's been optimized so much that it's really, you know, killing you turn 3. You know what I'm saying? That makes sense. I mean, to put that in, it would slow my deck down in a sense.
Yeah, but it's also a very strong target for sanity grinding.
Well, how many blue symbols are in this card?
3.
That's not that big of a deal. I mean,
it's 3 blue mana is to cast it.
Yeah, I mean, it's gonna be about the average, you know, because it's gonna be the average. Yeah,
and but it has the cycling too. So if you're searching for your sanity grinding or for your Teferi's tutelage, you know, it helps both ways.
It helps a whole lot. I'm telling you what, man.
And that's a pretty dirty card.
So,
I have a signed artist proof of sanity grinding. I wonder what the value of that is. Now I should probably check.
Yeah.
I'll give you whatever you want for it.
So moving on here to number 2, we've got Dakon Blackblade. It is up 838% at $16.98. But this is the Chronicles version. The Legends version has actually been spiking to, it's going for about 180 on Card Kingdom and about 700 on TCG Player, which is insane.
Woo!
Looking at this card again, I know exactly why it spiked, but it's not that good. It's just not. What do you guys think of this one?
I stand on the Fifth Amendment.
I mean, I agree. It's just not that good. The art is really cool on it. I will say that.
Absolutely.
The Legends art is really, really cool. But yeah, I'm not paying $180 for that.
Is it $700 cool there, peddler?
No, it is not. It is not.
No. But we're just going to move right along here to the number one.
And it doesn't have the right color in it. You know, if it was to have all wins matter, it should have green in it, shouldn't it?
Yeah.
Or it's,
I know I'm being biased of green, but
or maybe it's something.
when you think of landfall type cards, you think green. You know,
Well, maybe it's something they're going to do with white right now.
maybe.
Yeah, definitely.
They're trying to make whites.
Hey, as a Boros player, I'm all for that. So
You see the dude, they got white stuff making you draw cards and stuff. You know, it's great.
yeah,
That's great.
it's
It's
like
great.
the first time that's ever happened before.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying, man. Legacy needs this. Vintage needs this, you know? It's like, what's white not going to do anymore, you know?
Okay, but we're going to move on to our number one spot this week, up 902% at $24.94. It is Upheaval. This is a sorcery for also from Odyssey. For 4 and 2 blue, it says return all permanents to their owner's hand.
It's getting reprinted in Modern Horizons 2, I believe.
Yes, it is.
And I was on the MTG Roundtable, which, by the way, guys, I go over to Mr. DJ Longhair over on his YouTube channel. And we put together a show called MTG Roundtable, which is on every Thursday night. You guys should come check it out if you didn't know about it. And over there, we were discussing Upheaval. And I said, well, this is a reprint. And the guy goes, no. And I was like, wait, maybe I should Google that and check it out. And before I could, they did. And they're like, oh, no, it is a reprint.
Mm-hmm.
I was glad I wasn't losing it. You know? No? Okay.
Yeah. All right, but that's going to do it for movers and shakers this week.
This is going to be a free-for-all where, pause, please join us. We're going to all pick 3 cards. We don't have to go into detail or anything. Just pick out 3 cards from this Modern Horizons 2 that kind of sticks out to our eyes and fancies us.
All right, so first up on the list would be the Rishadan Dockhand.
Nice.
Mm-hmm.
That's the one that's 1 blue mana cost and he has Island Walk, right?
Yes, he does. Island Walk is back. I'm excited.
Nice.
This is going to be fun.
That's right. He taps the target land. I had to look him up real fast. I'm like, I knew there's something else that was interesting. So one generic and tap him and tap target land. Very.
And it doesn't say user. You know, you can tap somebody else's land if you want. So that is pretty cool. For a 1-drop, it's not a bad Merfolk. Second card is going to be Sylvan Anthem. And that is an enchantment, which I love my enchantments. Yes, it's green, but this is a 2-drop, 2 green, and enchantment is green creatures you control get +1/+1. Whenever a green creature enters the battlefield under your control, you scry 1. So in green, you don't scry much. So this is pretty cool. It's a great addition to, you know, other decks that I might be wanting to put this in. Maybe like a Oboon deck, maybe, or something, you know? Try it out.
Definitely, yeah.
This is giving them pumping them up 1/1, you know? I think it's pretty cool. So my third pick today is going to be Avi, Progenitor Ooze. He is a 5-drop, 2 and 3 green, legendary creature, which is Ooze. So we got that EDH Ooze deck coming along, hopefully. It has Storm. Whenever you cast this spell, copy it for each spell cast before this one. Copies become tokens. AB Progenitor Ooze isn't legendary if it's a token. So then you don't lose the whole legendary theme, which is a good thing. And then AV enters the battlefield with +1/+1 counter on it for each other Ooze you control. That's exciting.
Mm-hmm. Storm is
Especially
always
with
exciting.
Core 2020 having the Ooze, or was it 21?
I think it was 21. I know we had the
It's just 21 because it's still standard legal scavenging use.
Okay.
Hey,
Yes,
yes.
Scavenger Ooze. Yep. Yeah, they look pretty exciting.
Definitely. Like Storm is always exciting. Like if you can fire off a bunch of spells and then fire that guy off, and especially with green being heavy in ramp, it's like you can do multiple things in a turn with green.
Lots of card draw there.
Yeah. So I guess we'll go into my picks next. Why not? So I'm going to start off with Deodron Dihada is one of the planeswalkers of this. It is 1 and Grixis, so blue, black, and red. Legendary planeswalker, has protection from permanents with corruption counters on them. What's a corruption counter, you might ask? Well, don't worry. She makes them. For her +1 ability, each opponent loses 2 life, you gain 2 life. Put a corruption counter on up to one other target creature or planeswalker. -3, gain control of target creature or planeswalker until end of turn. Untap it and put a corruption counter on it. It gains haste until end of turn. And her ultimate is -7. Gain control of each permanent with a corruption counter on it. And her starting loyalty is 4. That is pretty cool. I like anything that introduces something new to the game. And corruption counters, for as far as I know, are new with this planeswalker.
I believe they're new too.
And it's just I like any planeswalker that can protect itself. So every time you're doing that +1 ability, whatever like the biggest creature out there is, you got protection from it. Or the planeswalker has protection from it because it'll have a corruption counter on it. It's definitely really cool.
Yeah.
Looks like a great card to build around.
Yeah, I'm excited for pre-release. I hope I pull like half these cards we're talking about. So my second card is going to be Ragavan, Nimble Pilferer. For 1 red, it's a legendary creature, monkey pirate at Mythic. Whenever Ragavan deals combat damage to a player, create a treasure token and exile the top card of that player's library. Until end of turn, you may cast that card. It also has Dash for 1 generic and a red. And if you don't know, Dash is you may cast this spell for its dash cost. If you do, it gains haste and it's returned from the battlefield to its owner's hand at the beginning of the next end step. It's definitely a cool card. It's basically, what's that one that's in standard right now? Robber of Riches?
Yes. Yeah.
It's very similar to that, but it also gives you ramp to play the card that you're exiling with that treasure token, which is really cool.
Yeah.
I'm a big fan of that card, and I don't play red, and I'm a big fan of that card. Let's put it that way. And my third card is Ignoble Hierarch. 1 green. This card is great. It's rare. Goblin Shaman. It's exalted, so whenever a creature you control attacks alone, that creature gets +1/+1 till end of turn. And you can tap it to add black, red, or green to your mana pool on a 0/1 body. Oh, I should probably say that the Monkey Pirate's 2/1, by the way. The 2/1. So this is Noble Hierarch for Jund, which is amazing.
Yeah, that's quite exciting.
I'm excited.
I wonder if they're going to do that with all the shards down the road. Like, is every single one of them going to have a hierarch? That would be pretty sweet.
They should at least make it equal,
Yeah.
Because what was Noble Hierarch? That's
Bant.
Bant, yeah, white, green, blue. That's Bant. So we're missing Naya, Grizzix, and Esper. Would be the other 3.
They're coming. Don't worry. I made a joke about it last week. I said, "Can we call this a cycle?"
I mean, it's basically a cycle now that they have 2 out. And it's what's the record for longest time for the first cycle card and the last cycle card to come out? Because this probably is. Because I mean, Noble Hierarch was originally from Shards of Alara, which is 2008.
When you got back,
Yeah.
right.
Yeah, wow.
So that's a long time.
That is, man. It reminds me of a song. All right, Slothy, you're up.
Alrighty, so the first card that I wanted to talk about is Garth One Eye. This is a 5/5 legendary creature, human wizard. He costs Wooburg. He's mythic. And you can tap him to choose a card name that hasn't been chosen from among Disenchant, Brain Geyser, Terror, Shivan Dragon, Regrowth, and Black Lotus. Create a copy of the card with the chosen name, and you may cast the copy, but you still pay its cost.
All I heard was Black Lotus is legal in Modern. That's all I heard. I lost everything else. That's all I heard.
Well, Black Lotus is legal in Commander now.
Is that a Planeswalker?
Nope, it's a legendary creature.
It's a creature, yeah. Human wizard.
You got to remember that.
I still only heard Black Lotus though.
So you got to remember that, what we're doing is we're creating characters that were in Magic's history, like in the books. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
And this character was a guy who created things that were from Magic the Gathering. Mm-hmm. So for him to create a Black Lotus is almost an homage in a way to, to say, hey, this guy can create things for this game. And one of the most valued things of this game would be the coveted Black Lotus, right?
Yeah.
True. Yes.
So it's almost an homage to the, you go back and read some of these old stories, man. It's really wicked, how they have nothing to do with what we're talking about today, if it makes sense.
This lore is amazing. I love the lore of Magic the Gathering.
Yeah.
Ever since I've gotten back into Magic, I've been trying to learn as much as I can about it.
Oh yeah, that's a challenge all in itself, right there. I'll agree.
Yes, it is.
I'll agree with you there, man.
Yes.
Oh, did Sloth? You did all three of yours?
No, that was
that was his first one. This is his first one.
Go ahead.
Good job, Slothy. This was a good one to pick on.
Oh, thank you. But the next one I'm gonna mention is Piru the Volatile. He's a 7/7 legendary creature, Elder Dragon, for 2 red, 2 white, and 2 black, so 8 mana in total. He's got flying and lifelink, and something that I really enjoyed. At the beginning of your upkeep, sacrifice Piru the Volatile unless you pay Mardu. And when it dies, it deals 7 damage to each non-legendary creature.
It's a board wipe dragon.
Exactly.
Mm-hmm.
Love it personally. Good pick.
Yeah.
Good
And
card.
The third one is one that I actually mentioned a bit before the show. It is Thrasta Tempest's Roar. It's a 7/7 legendary creature dinosaur for 10 and 2 green. The spell costs 3 less to cast for each other spell cast this turn. Trample over planeswalkers, and haste. And Thrasta Tempest's Roar has hexproof as long as it entered the battlefield this turn. There are so many ways to abuse this and get it out turn 1. So many.
Hour.
I mean, let's see. He's Black Lotus, Tormund's Crypt, and what else costs 0? Mox. We'll throw a Mox in there.
You could Jeweled Lotus.
Jeweled Lotus, yes.
Play land for turn. Jeweled Lotus. So then it's down to 7 and 2 green. Mana Crypt. It's down to 5 and 2. 5 and 2 green. Ornithopter, 3 and 2 green. Even a Soul Ring. You'll be netting mana. So that's 1 and 2 green. And then you can just crack the Jeweled Lotus for 3 green and then cast it.
Yeah.
It is.
I want that. I want that on video. I want to see that I want to see that happen on YouTube. I want to watch that. That would be amazing.
I will build a Thrasta deck where every.
Oh my god! He has haste. I just saw he has haste.
Haste and hexproof as long as it's entered the battlefield this turn.
I would just.
You're dead, by the way.
Pardon?
Anything now? You're dead, by the way. Are you doing anything right now?
And you still have mana left over too from all that, don't you? Because you have a Soul Ring and a Mana Crypt out.
You got to equip them with something,
Yeah, you still have the Mana Crypt and the Soul Ring mana.
Yeah, you can still put equipment down and equip it.
Yep.
How many other cards has Trample over Planeswalker?
This is the only one right now.
That's what I thought.
Yeah.
This is gonna see lots of play.
Yeah, this was kind of in Mark Rosewater's big blurb of little teasers. Trample over Planeswalkers. That's this one here.
Right. Okay. Yeah.
Yeah. But John, what about you? What are some cards that you were thinking of?
Persist. I love Persist.
Hmm.
It reminds me of Lifelink. You guys remember the card Lifelink?
Negative. I do not.
We'll check it out real quick. It's called Lifelink.
Is that an enchantment?
I think it's enchant creature. Isn't this new card Persist enchant creature?
No, persist is a sorcery.
Okay.
Basically, it's borrowing from the Lorwyn mechanic of persist. When if a creature would die, it gets returned to the battlefield with a -1/-1 counter on it.
And that's what it does. And that's what it does, right?
Mhm.
Right. Let's look at the card Lifelink.
Persist as a mechanic was strictly for that one creature. This is just anything in your graveyard. So if you get Emrakul in your graveyard turn 1, turn 2, you can persist them. It's a 14/14.
Yeah.
That card Lifelink, though.
Lifelink, it is an enchant creature, and enchanted creature has lifelink.
Yeah.
Yes.
So this card Persist reminds me of the card Lifelink, and it's like they should make a card that does this with everything. Trample. Let's grab the card Trample. Let's have the card Reach. You know?
I could definitely see that
Mm-hmm.
being something that they could do.
So that's one of the reasons why I love this card right here. It reminds me of the card Lifelink, and it's like, oh wow, that's cool. They can do this with any card in the future. I knew it then. I see it now. It makes me happy knowing I was right. Number 2 that I picked would have been this Hymn to Turok guy. What's this card called? It's called Turok. I got USA Adventure Motorcycle Gear and ADV bead barks. Hold on.
Dread Canter. Torok Dread Canter is what you're looking for.
There we go.
Also, I lied. You can't do an Emrakul with it because he's a legendary. It's only for non-legendary creatures. But you get my idea.
You can still get Crater Hoof.
Yeah, you can get a lot of big stuff out turn 2.
Turok Dread Cancer is my second pick. So this card right here is, again, going back on what I said earlier, they're all about the lore and stuff. This is Torok, the guy who made the card Hymn to Torok. Or what the card Hymn to Torok's really about. Remember Hymn to Torok?
Vaguely.
Yes. It was 2 black mana to cast it. I remember that, and
Discard 2 cards at random.
that's it. Discard.
Yes, sir.
And the random part was the part that hurt you. So this is a very powerful card called Hymn to Torok, right? And again, very powerful card. That card, Hymn to Torok, well, this is Torok. So finally, after all these years, we got Torok. Which could have been a little bit sooner. But hey, I'm not mad. I'm glad. And
Glad it happened. Yep.
glad it happened. And then last but not least, my last pick. What was the name of that card? I'm glad you wrote it down. What was the name of that card? I'll pull it up too. I got the stuff in there. It's colorless and it costs 2. I just made it to colorless. Now I gotta find 2. Okay, I found 2. This is sword.
Oh, it was the mirror thing. Void mirror.
Void Mirror.
Yes.
Right. So my third
Void
pick. Yep. My third pick would be Void Mirror. And I like this guy because it comes out for 2. It's an artifact, and whenever a player casts a spell, if no colored mana was spent to cast it, counter that spell.
So it's just a chronic artifact counterspell that just sits there.
Yeah.
And I will say, when it says whenever a player, so that includes you.
Correct. So I just make sure that I got color in all my spells, right?
That's beautiful.
Yeah.
I could see some shenanigans around that card.
You like it? You like it?
I do like it. Yes, sir.
Another interesting thing is your first 2 picks with Persist and Torok, they both involve discarding. And there's a lot of discarding and sacrificing in Modern Horizons 2.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of it.
Yeah, I mean, there's recursion and what was the other word I was looking for? Where you got reanimation is also what they're trying to focus on it too. I wasn't sure what the deal was with that green card though. That talking about the land one.
Oh, the one that makes all lands forests.
Yeah.
What was that card called?
That is.
I mean, I understand. You know, there's we lost, what was it called? Once Upon a Time or something like that. They banned that in Modern. You know. So I mean, did Modern really need this? This is a question in the community. Did Modern really need this card? I mean, I think we should just go ahead and come out and say it publicly right now. This is in the community. This question's in the community. Did we really need this card in Modern?
Maybe.
Yeah.
Maybe. That's my best guess.
Again, I'll go with Peddler on this. Maybe. You know, I'm a Modern player.
Right.
I don't.
It's Yavimaya Cradle of Growth is what we're talking about.
Yes.
There you go. I don't play much green. I do play green every once in a while. I'll tell you what. This would be an auto include if I was. This is very, very strong.
Would you add in Gaia's Will as well?
You got it.
I mean, Cabal Coffers is here.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
what's next, I think, is they're going to make a green Cabal's Coffers. Probably what's going on.
So there is some repetition going along with this set.
Yeah.
They're putting Larry Nevin's disc back in.
Yeah, I caught that, and then we got the Diamond Lion too, and
Yes.
And the Brainstorm artifact.
yeah, I mean a lot of things that you know we could be using in Modern. There's not. I will not say that the whole set is targeted to Modern. It's pretty obvious at this point. All these cards are not targeted to Modern.
Well, that's with all sets now. Like there's always going to be cards that they're trying to push into the Eternal formats, the Vintage, the Legacies, and then into Commander also. That's I don't think that's a new concept over these past couple sets.
I'm glad you agree with me on this, Peddler. When I was over on when I was over on the round table, that's what I tried to convey to those guys. Is I think this is a thing you're going to see moving forward for the remainder of the game, guys. Is we're going to be. Why not dip your hands into everything? Well,
because if a card gets ridiculous in Standard, they can just ban it in Standard, and then it's still going to live in all those other formats. That's how they're pushing these cards out.
Correct, and I'm with you.
I agree.
Yeah, I do too. Absolutely. So we all four agree on that. That's what's up.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
That's what's up.
That's a given.
Now we're gonna go ahead and move over to new collect. Now pause. You have a new collection, a new collector's box opening coming up on YouTube soon.
Yes, sir. So this coming Wednesday, the date is actually going to be the 2nd. So June 2nd, that is Hump Day. Feels like every day's Hump Day, but Hump Day, yes, sir. I will be cracking open the right-hand side of the box of my Strixhaven Collector's box. And as long as we get to hit 950 subs, I will be opening a box of Dominaria once I hit 1,000. And I do have a pack of Weatherlight to be opened at 950.
Very, very cool.
Awesome.
I love watching old packs get cracked. It's one of my favorite things to do.
Mm-hmm.
Amen. The artwork is phenomenal. Those sets. The lands.
Okay, you had me at lands. Pause. That's all I gotta say.
Yeah, I said it just for you, Peddler. Well, you got me into lands. I can't help it.
I don't know why everyone is into lands. They're so awesome.
Peddler.
And that's what you need to play. So why not start collecting them?
You kill me, Peddler, man. You kill me.
I can turn any conversation into a basic land conversation.
Why not? It's so easy. It's so easy, right? Yeah, well, we're talking about lands, right?
on my deathbed, the priest is going to be like reading me my last rites. He's like, "Do you have anything you want to say?" I'm like, "Summer Magic cards are underpriced."
You want a little insider trade?
Right.
Pause. That's actually a good segue over to this week's Beginner's Corner. This week's Beginner's Corner, we're talking about the different types of booster packs.
Ooh.
because as a beginner, like especially if you're first time walking into an LGS, you're going to see, okay, there's Strixhaven, all these different types of packs of Strixhaven, and one is worth, one they're selling for $6, one they're selling for $10, and one they're selling for $25. What is going on? Like, which one of these is the packs I actually want to buy? Like, what is different inside these packs?
Great question.
So I'm going to start off with regular old draft packs. These are the packs that were the only packs available for the longest time until Throne of Eldraine came and shook things up. So with a standard draft pack, you're going to have 10 commons. The only way that'll change is if you have a foil, then you would only have 9 commons. And then the next 3 cards will be uncommon. Then you're going to have one card that's either rare or mythic. And then behind the rare or mythic would be a foil if you had one, or it would be a token or an ad card that's going to do some kind of advertisement for the game. So that is what's the contents of a standard draft pack. It's very simple, very straightforward. Like I said, these are the packs that we've known and loved for 25 years until Throne of Eldraine said, "Nah, wait a second." Now, after that, we have set boosters. Now, let me scroll on down here real fast. I gotta get to my set booster slots.
I'll tell you what. I'm starting to dislike that throne every day, man.
It's because you play it all the time, and you see it's all that is in standard right now is Throne of Eldraine. It gets tiring.
It's so old, bud.
It is. I can't wait for rotation. I really can't.
I can't wait for rotation either, man. I can finally use my shit.
It's really gonna get shook up, though.
This podcast is gonna have something new to talk about.
Yeah, it's gonna be crazy.
Man.
Strixhaven set boosters. Now, like I said, this is gonna be like your in between pack, where like a standard pack costs like $5-6. A set booster is going to cost probably like 8 to 10, give or take, depending on the store that you're going to. And this has a different breakdown of what is going to be inside. So it's going to start off. The first card you're going to see is a full art card. It's not tournament legal. You can't play it. It's just an extended, or it's a whole card is just artwork of one of the cards in the set. Wow. Then you're going to have a basic land card. Or it doesn't have to be a basic. It can be like one of the lesser rarity, if there's a common land cycle, it can be those as well. And then you're going to have 6 thematically connected commons and uncommons, where they're all 6 of these cards are going to be common or uncommon, and they're all going to share a theme that is around the set. Like with Strixhaven, you might get one that the 6 cards are all black and green, and they're part of the Witherbloom College. Then you're going to have a wild card, which can be any rarity. And then after that, so it could be either a common, uncommon, rare, or mythic. And then you're going to have a guaranteed rare or mythic slot. And then you're going to have a foil card that can be any rarity. And with Strixhaven, you can get a lesson card. And then you can also get a mystical archive card. Like those last couple cards will change with the different sets, depending on what sets they have out there. And then the last card is where it gets a little interesting. You can either get an ad or token card, just like in a draft pack, or you have a 25% chance that it's upgraded to a card from the list, which is 300 cards that are reprinted from Magic the Gathering's history. So that's really interesting, too. And we want to take collector's boosters? You guys want me to keep talking? Huh?
I'll let you keep going, but what do you think, Sloth?
Here, I can cover them.
Okay, go ahead. Slothy, go ahead.
Cool. So for the Strixhaven collector boosters, first thing is going to be a foil double-sided token. And then after that, you're going to get 5 foil commons followed by 2 foil uncommons. And then a foil single or double-faced rare or mythic. And then with the Strixhaven one, you're going to get a foil lesson card, which could be any rarity. And an extended art commander rare or mythic, so a card from the commander set. An extended art or borderless rare or mythic. A foil mystical archive uncommon. A foil mystical archive borderless or extended art rare or mythic. A foil etched mystical archive uncommon. And a foil etched mystical archive rare or mythic. So these ones are, I find they're pretty much just for the collector.
Absolutely.
Hence the name.
I strictly buy collector's boosters.
Mm-hmm.
It's the only thing I buy to open up. But I mean, and you can see the difference between the packs. So in a draft pack, you're only going to guarantee one rare or mythic, but you can get a foil rare or mythic. But that's very, very low odds, and it's very uncommon to see a rare or mythic foil in a draft pack.
Yeah, I think it's still what, averaging one a box.
Yeah, probably one or two a box probably sounds about right. So it's very, very uncommon to hit rares in that slot. Now with the set booster, you have your rare guaranteed slot. You can also get one in the wild card slot, and you can also get one in the Mystical Archives with Strixhaven, and in the list cards as well. You can get rares there, so you have a chance to get 4. So it's a higher percentage rare. Pack costs a little bit more. And now with the collector's boosters, and let me count this real fast. You can get 1, 2, 3, 4. You can get up to 6 mythics, and 1, 2, 3, 4, 6 rares. So you have a much higher chance of getting rares and mythics, and especially in the extended arcs, the borderless, like the more expensive variations. You're getting a lot more chances in the collector's boxes than you would in any other product, which is why they're basically double the price of draft and set boosters.
One thing that I did forget to mention now that I'm re-looking at that little slide there is for the foil Mystical Archive uncommons, there is a 50% chance of actually getting a Japanese alternate art.
That is absolutely true. You can get up to 3 Japanese alternate arts in a single Strixhaven collector's booster.
I did not know that. That's awesome.
The only one that's guaranteed to be an English language one is the one of the first 2. So either the first etched one of the etches guaranteed to be English.
Yeah, the foil etched Mystical Archive rare or mythic is going to be English, and the extended art or borderless rare or mythic is going to be English.
Correct. So, John, which packs do you think you buy most, or would want to buy most?
Well, I mean, I don't really want to put too much of a biased opinion out there. I like the collector's versions; they're very, very pretty. I think the draft ones are the ones I grew up with, and those I originally just kept getting draft ones, and then the set booster ones get my eye. I love the chance of more than one rare in set boosters, but when it comes down to it, my money just goes to regular draft ones. So I draft with my friends and stuff like that, or I'll buy a box just to open them. I can't afford it. But if I could afford it, I'll tell you what, I'd be going to the collectors all day long. Those things are beautiful, and
they are exciting to open.
I bet
They are so much fun to open. So like every set that comes out, I typically open between 6 and 10 collector's boxes. And every single one is an absolute blast. I have so much fun when the new set comes out and I get to crack some boxes open. They are so fun to open.
I'm glad this is being put down. I guess you can call it like in a diary or something, a log, or this is being logged. That I had a video on YouTube on the Cryptic Commander that we did for a sponsor as one of the viewers, Sarah Thomas, right? So she likes to be called
Sarah Thomas. I know her.
Yeah, I was going to say Sarah Thomas.
Right? She was one of my first subscribers.
Yeah.
I know Sarah very well. She was one of my first subscribers.
Right, so she went ahead and had us open the VIP box, and then we mailed it back to her. And I'll tell you what, that's the only time ever that I opened a collector's box of anything or anything close to that. And every card that I looked at blew me away. Man.
Yeah, those VIPs were amazing.
Can I just tell you though, me and my wife were looking at them as I was opening them and recording for YouTube and stuff. And it was just, they blew us away so much. It was almost, we would want to pause on every single card just to show this artwork. It was just so amazing.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Like how can you move? You open a pack, right? You open a pack from this collector's, and then you look at the first card, and it's like, how can you get past this artwork? And then you get to the next card, and you're like, whoa, what's going on here? Okay, how can you move past this artwork? You know what I mean? So that was so just giving you a natural reaction or a real reaction from somebody that hasn't opened too much of this stuff.
And for me, I think since this is going on beginner's corner, obviously, what would the best packs be for beginners? And I really think that's what you want to do with the cards that are inside. Like if you're if you
yeah.
If you just want to have like, your basic cards so you can get some decks, you know what I mean? And you want to try to, roll the dice and open some packs for them. Because I always recommend buying singles if you're looking for specific cards.
Mm-hmm.
But if you just want to roll the dice, you know what I mean, and open a couple packs, draft packs. Or if you want to, buy a box, split it between, 4 friends and have a night of drafting, draft box. Absolutely. If you want like a little bit more bling and, a little bit more excitement and chance for some more rares, then and you're not worried about spending a couple extra bucks, then you're going to want to go for the set packs.
Yeah, set packs. Yep.
And if you and if you're looking like really bling out your collection, or you just love seeing having a chance at high end cards, then you might want to roll the dice and go for some collectors.
Yeah.
But the thing with collectors is, I always say this: if you're going to buy collectors, buy a lot.
Yeah.
Because the variant
At least
between
buy
packs. The variance between packs can be so great. Nothing hurts worse than opening up a $25 collector's pack and getting $5 of cards out of it, and nothing is better than opening a collector's box or a pack and getting $100 card out of it. So it's like there's such a high variant of the quality of card you're pulling out of these packs. If you can afford it, buy more. Like I said, I buy 6 to 10. Just to help smooth out my pulls, because I know that hey, I'm going to have some bad boxes in there, so hopefully I'll get a couple extra good boxes that'll even that out.
Yeah.
So it's a very high risk, high reward type of pack opening.
It really is. I usually buy one and I split it so that then I can have that feeling more than once.
Oh, I can't do that. I burn through them so fast.
Yeah.
Well, Pause. I want to say thank you so much, for coming on today's show. And
Yeah.
Pause Brown, ladies and gentlemen, you're becoming a legend. We can't appreciate we can't thank you enough for coming on today's show, man.
Absolutely.
Well,
Yeah, it was.
50 Command, thank you guys so much. Don't forget to keep staying positive and swing on over to Hump Day Video. It's on Wednesday, every Wednesday around 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Keep staying positive, everybody.
Check them out, guys. Paul's Brown.
And let us know what you guys think, too. Slothy, just like we did on our last episode, we're going to be logging these guys and creating videos on YouTube. So now you can comment below on the podcast and just let us know what you think.
Yeah.
Start letting us know what you guys think,
Yes, tell us, please.
And until next time, keep spell slinging.